One of the biggest cryptocurrency bull runs in history could result from what Trump just accomplished. And this is something that needs to be addressed, particularly now that practically no one is thinking bullishly. Nearly everyone has a gloomy outlook. They believe we are lowering ourselves even farther. They believe the market is finished, the bull run top is in, they believe. And I believe that this is actually pretty crazy to consider because if you are interested in the basics, as I know many of you are, and you have been following utility-based projects like XRP for a while, as I know many of you have, you are already aware that institutional grade adoption is increasing at this time. Regulations are starting to take shape. Additionally, the use of cryptocurrency is rapidly expanding worldwide, particularly when considering tokenization around stable currencies and similar concepts. Therefore, once more, I do believe that it's a little weird that people believe that the top is in when, in reality, we didn't encounter anything unusual. Even if we go all the way back to November 2024 and January of this year. Yes, the market saw some pleasant activity. However, those moves generally, our foundation consists of, I would say, a few ancient pennies. It was not a substantial sum. Therefore, once more, I do not believe that the market is crested at this time. I don't believe this market was completed. I did discuss that bottoming point in last night's video, and I believe we are very close to it. However, Trump's recent announcement has the potential to completely alter the situation. We must deal with this. Let's begin by examining the cryptocurrency market capitalization. Thus, we are currently at approximately 3.5 trillion. Here, we could notice the board's pleasant bounce. If you go back to the time when I was filming that video and after I uploaded it, we were at about 3.5 trillion. We are thrilled to note that the market capitalization has increased by more than $100 billion since then. A fact the majority of the market is experiencing a minor rebound. It's nothing too insane. However, based on the overall rate, I anticipate that we will continue to hold this prior peak until May. Additionally, we are on the third day here. If we can keep this up and begin building a floor here, that would be great. Over the past few days, the everyday has looked like this. I've seen that an increasing number of consumers are experiencing their money being frozen on exchanges such as Maxi. This is a significant problem that afflicts the cryptocurrency industry. These exchanges are not entirely regulated at the moment. It's a serious problem. For this reason, I've always said that cold storage might be an option if you wanted to keep your cryptocurrency under guard. It makes no difference where you hold it. These conversations should never be held up. I will now state that I believe Capital offers institutional-grade custody through its premium custody account. This US-based business offers live customer support and service. Additionally, this platform, which is a closed-loop system with minimal costs and high security, allows you to purchase and trade cryptocurrency around the clock. We can also observe that when you purchase, sell, or hold cryptocurrency on their site, iTrust Capital does offer you everything you may possibly require. You are more than welcome to use my link, which is included in the paragraph below, to open a premium custodial account right now. Additionally, if you deposit $1,000, you will receive a $100 funding incentive. Having stated that, let's get back to the video. Well, the majority of the daily candle shuts were approximately 3.32 trillion. This is approximately the peak before returning to mid-May. However, I'm focusing more on the 3-day framework. Additionally, it's encouraging to note that RSI is beginning to rise again. This gives us a slightly better idea of how momentum is increasing around just purchasing demand and volume. And I do believe that there may be a chance for an upward surge here. However, I'm examining several levels. It goes without saying that the first significant level to be flipped here would be the lows from around the start of August or the end of July. I am no longer adamant about being a primary target. Actually, shifting the midline around by about 3.71 trillion is the primary goal I have in mind. Following that, we were the type of ones aiming for that upper trend line, which ought to result in a greater 3-day structural high than those from around the end of October. I'm keeping a careful eye on this to see what happens with the total. However, I do believe that if we see some additional momentum on this chart, it will be a clear indication that we have bottomed out and will begin to move toward new highs on some of these lower and even higher timeframe structures, and then Assuming you all watched the midnight video, of course, with Bitcoin and XRP. Yes, I did take a quick look at the charts alone, and as you can see, the primary focus of our one-week analysis today is simply keeping this trend line. That will remain the main focus. Naturally, I'll keep you guys updated during the midnight video, as I'll likely provide a new update following the closure. These two have been doing well on the weekly so far, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. The market is selling off, and I am aware of that. I am aware that we are experiencing a significant decline, but that's not the only one we've encountered so far in this run, and I don't believe it will be the last. So, once more, this is merely regular, healthy, and typical price movement. The same is true of XRP. I am aware that many folks are in a panic as a result of the recent great falls that have brought prices down to the low $2 range. They're telling you, oh, that's it. XRP is finished. I believe that XRP will reach this or that amount of money, not even able to hold this. Additionally, there is a lot of pessimistic talk surrounding the market's lows. Even in 2022, when XRP and Bitcoin were at extremely low levels. In other words, if we go all the way back to 2022, XRP was trading at about 30 cents at that time. When Bitcoin was trading between $15,000 and $20,000, everyone was quite pessimistic. We're dropping significantly, and XRP will drop below 20 cents. As we already know, Bitcoin is redescending below 10,000. Again, I'm not convinced that the market is currently very bearish, especially at a time when the primary factors that have been keeping us afloat include, for instance, the government shutdown and, outside of that, the entire tariff trade war discussion, which all seems to be coming to an end. I'm sure that everyone is discussing about today if you guys did watch me over on X. The U.S. shutdown has now lasted 39 days, setting a record for both the filibuster and ACA subsidies. Thus, this is undoubtedly a significant one to pay attention to. It looks like a lot of people were discussing the possibility of a significant Senate meeting today to decide whether to end or prolong the shutdown. It goes without saying that this has taken far longer than most people anticipated. The schedule. However, the primary aspect of this that I'm primarily considering is that this shutdown should be coming to an end really quickly. I would contend that this shutdown will likely come to an end, perhaps in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I am aware that's being quite conservative, if you will. I believe it might come to an end this week. Again, if I'm being completely honest, this is a major holdup. Everyone should, in my opinion, be focused on the shutdown coming to an end, because after it does, we will see more updates about the SEC related to the old Queen ETFs, more conversations about cryptocurrency, and, just funding will start to resume. This means that the money printer needs to be turned on because, the Fed currently uses a lot of money to pay. I hope this video was enjoyable to all of you. Follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord channel in the description below if you guys enjoy. Subscribe and get alerts because there will be more free material. Having stated that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Goodbye.